歡迎大家嚟到世界香港論壇嘅前奏啦。咁我咧就依家直播室以外咧有 Li Schoolland，咁佢就係咧喺世界香港論壇嘅其中一位發言嘅嘉賓啦，將會喺1月5號。咁再講多一次，大家可以咧喺最後喺網上嘅登記啦。咁咧就我哋會喺多倫多咧就會見到Li。咁Li咧本身咧就佢係講國語啦，即係大家知道，我曾經同有幾位台灣嘅主持咧就講國語，咁都係麻麻地。咁今日咧大部分嘅講嘅話咧都係用英文咧會比較好啲。Li, it's a pleasure to have you appearing at Action World, my channel, and also it's a pleasure and an honor to have you to be one of the main speakers at the World Hong Kong Forum. This is our 4th year. We have it get hosted in different parts of the world: Taiwan, San Francisco, and then back to Toronto again. So it's a pleasure.
多謝先生。You don't know I speak Cantonese, but
你講廣東話嘅？
講得唔好啦，英文好啲。
英文好啲嚇，即係我啲國語真係it's a big struggle 咁就。
Want me to speak in English or Mandarin？
咁咪用廣東話啦，如果你可以用個。
可以。
唔可以。Okay. Talk about the Cultural Revolution first, right?
Okay. I share how I became Christian.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I was born into a Christian family, so I received baby baptism in China. During that time, the end of 1950s, church was still open, but not really open. So my mother took me to get baptized after dark from the back door. She told me, have to go in the back door. And of course, there's nobody else there. And I was baptized. And then a year later, when my brother was born, all churches were closed already. The pastors and the fathers, and they all either imprisoned or left China. So my brother was not baptized. And of course, my parents never told me about it. So I didn't know. But I'm very, very thankful because even though for 26 years of my life in China, I didn't know God, I didn't know Christ, but God knows me because my parents dedicated me to Christ. So I felt very blessed because after all the horrible things I experienced, I was not permanently injured, like mentally or physically a little bit, but that's another story. So I feel like I'm a very strong survivor because God was protecting me. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. Right. So just like the Bible said, I was bent, but not broken. So that's how exactly I felt. And so I experienced the horror of communism for 26 years.
Go ahead.
From 1958 to 1984. 1958 is the year of the Great Leap Forward. Even though I was infant, but I was very much affected because my parents were never home. They were forced to go to make steels. My father was a medical doctor, surgeon. My mother was an English teacher at the university. But I was put in the boarding daycare since I was a month and a half old. And so I never really grown up in a family with my parents' love. We hardly get to see them because they were always taken away to do labors and things like that. So Cultural Revolution started at 1966.
Yeah.
I was 8-year-old. At that time, when you are 8-year-old, you go to elementary school as a first grade. So I had the first grade in the school. Then the Cultural Revolution started. All I remember was students, little kids like us, beating up teachers, principals. And of course, I was immediately labeled the black kid, 狗崽子.
Why is that? Because of your faith, or?
No, nobody knew about my faith, but my parents, they're educated.
Oh, okay.
And my ancestors, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, they were the top 1%.
Okay.
Capitalist China before the communists took over. And once upon a time, my grandmother, my fraternal grandmother's family was the biggest stockholder of HSBC Bank. And they were the commodores of HSBC in China. They were super rich. And they own a lot of banks and factories and shops, land, whatever. And many of them were in politics too. So all those add together, and everything labeled me, our family, enemy of the people, 牛鬼蛇神. The 5 blacks, and first was the 5 blacks, later became 9, and were every one of them. So I didn't benefit from any of the family wealth because 1949, when communists came, half of my family members left, but my parents didn't, and my grandparents didn't. So they had a little hope on communist government because they did not like Chiang Kai-shek's National Party because they were super corrupt.
Okay.
And so, but then when they realized what's going on, was too late. And first, they nationalized all of our businesses, properties, and the house. Our house was government moved other people into our house to stay because we don't. Nobody should live comfortably, and 1 room per family is enough. So we happen to have a Western style single family home with yard, garden, and a garage. So the garage has a couple live there with, 3 dozen cats. And then living room has one family, and dining room has another family. And I remember the kitchen have so many stoves because it was shared. And they nationalized everything. Because 共产 communist, it means everybody share everything together. Nobody owns anything, and we end up equally poor. And my father told a joke and became a political prisoner. Imprisoned. My mother was constantly being beaten, criticized, march on the street with her hair cut yin-yang style, one side cut, the other side randomly cut. Our house was looted and 抄家, and my grandparents all got severe tortured because they were educated. They were my grandparents, both my grandma and grandpa was graduate of Tsinghua University. And my grandmother was the first female student of Tsinghua University. And all because of that, they were tortured. And So I learned how to read from reading the big posters, 大字报, and because I need to know what kind of crime they put on for my mom or dad, and so I have to be prepared. That's my childhood was. And in 1969, prison was over crowded. So my dad was released to hard labor, and then he was let go. But our family have to be moved to a very remote countryside in Guangxi province. I was born in Tianjin, one of that time was third largest country, third largest city in China, and most.
What's it in Cantonese called?
Tianjin.
Tianjin, right?
And was most westernized in the 1930s, 1920s, because at the beginning of Republic of China, foreigners were not allowed to go to Beijing. So they all gathered in Tianjin as a port city. So very westernized. I was born there, but then 1969, we were set to Guangxi, Guangxi. That's why I speak Baowa, because that's where over there they speak kind of like Cantonese.
Now, may I ask, when did you leave China? I know you went to the U.S. for education.
1984.
1984.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we were sent to a place in the countryside. It's more like 1,000 years ago. There's never seen any civilizations in that area. No running water, no toilet, no anything. And we built a house with a hole on the wall because no glasses, and that kind of a situation. We were there for 9 years. And until 1977, China reopened universities. So I tried really hard to pass the examination and got into university in Guangzhou. That's another Cantonese speaking city.
That's where you learn more Cantonese, I guess.
When I was little, when we have to memorize Mao's books, we all did it in Cantonese.
Right.
Not in Mandarin. And but it's a little different. 白話同廣東話都係有少少唔同啦。
Okay.
And
now, maybe we fast forward a little bit because of the time issue.
Right.
And also people want to hear more about your story at the World Hong Kong Forum. Now, you left in 1984, right?
Yeah, I graduated from university and got a job in the central government in Beijing, and as a member of a small group to build the first Chinese highway. But then I had the opportunity to leave China to go to University of Minnesota for graduate school, so I went.
Hey, that's my alma mater. We talked about Village Walk, remember? I never met you. Yeah, I was there like 85, 86. Yeah. Our path should have crossed. Yeah, it's a nice city with 10,000 lakes, for those who don't know Minnesota.
Right.
Did you well, after moving out from China, did you attend church in the US?
After I left China, the first thing my father told me is, "You're a Christian." I said, "What does it mean?" And he didn't really explain. He just said, "From now on, you need to go to church on Sundays." I said, "Okay." So he entrusted me to a missionary family in Minnesota. They were missionaries in Henan about 100 years, more than 100 years ago.
Right.
They were kicked out, but we kept, we were connected after China reopened. And so they were in Minnesota. That's why I was I chose Minnesota to stay.
Mm.
And so I started to go to church, and I didn't speak any English. I didn't understand any English, but I went to church every single Sunday. And for 4 years, I did not understand a thing.
You mean when you were in Minnesota, you didn't really understand English back then?
No.
So you would be in your 20s, early 20s at that time?
I was 26 when I left China. And so because I didn't know English, I couldn't take graduate school courses. So I chose to study Japanese because I had no problem with Japanese. So the teacher used English to teach. So I learned English from learning in Japanese classes. Of course, I had to work because I have $50 in my pocket. That time was our family wealth was $50. So I start working from day one. And God was just, God grace is sufficient. I survived, and I finished my master's degree in 3.5 years. And
in Japanese studies?
Japanese, yeah.
Okay.
Then I didn't want to go to a PhD because that's not what I love.
Yeah.
And friends who all got PhDs in physics and other department, then they told me, get another master, don't get PhD. So I went to Hawaii for another master for MBA. By then, my English is much better.
Right. And that's where you met your husband, right? I guess. Yeah.
So that was a Lutheran place. So I was, for a while, I stayed at the retired president of Bethel Lutheran Seminary. So I stayed at their house. They just took me in, and very nice.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you one thing, Li. I guess you, like me, I'm not really, I would say, anti-China. I mean, I love the Chinese people. I just don't like the totalitarian regime. I'm very open about it.
I'm not anti-China. I'm anti-Xi Jinping and anti-CCP.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a very strong defender of the original one country, two systems that, unfortunately, they just don't honor it. And Hong Kong is in a big mess. And we met when we were in Michigan, right, at the Acton Institute. That's the first time. And then Father Surico, we all met, and then he is a good friend of Jimmy Lai. And then the Acton Institute has done wonderful things to defend freedoms.
Yes.
And then I recently just got this literally 2 days ago. This is a new book by Mark Clifford on, it's called The Troublemaker. It's about the biography of Jimmy Lai. And Mark Clifford will be
Jimmy's assistant.
No, he is Apple Daily, it's a listed company, and he is one of the directors of the publicly listed company. And you will meet him on January 5th, actually. Yeah. Talking about CCP, I mean, we should talk too much, but I just want to introduce most of the key speakers in 2.5 weeks' time. Do you think, what we do advocate overseas? Now, I'm a very mild one. I'm still a strong defender of the original, the two systems model. And there are many reasons why I have to do it. Do you think mainland China, the Chinese people, one day will be free? I mean, right now, they are incarcerated. I mean, the whole 1.3, 1.4 billion people. Do you think they could be set free?
Yes, they will, because truth will overcome evil. Right now, CCP is pure evil. And at the beginning, before 1997, when they talk about one country systems, and then I was telling everybody, no, don't believe that, because I lived under communism. Nothing they say, they will keep it, and nothing is safe, and just you cannot believe them. So, well, now.
Yeah, that's why we call it one country, two systems, 2.0, 2.0, meaning you can buy 2 fake Rolex watches with $10.
Right,
exactly. So I just call it the 2.0 model.
Yeah, exactly. And because that two system, the Hong Kong system, it is the CCP doesn't have a total control. So how can they let it happen? They need a total control. They don't care about anything. Prosperity, human lives, human dignity. We're not even talking about human rights because that's minor. Even human lives, they don't respect, and they don't honor. So they can't let you be free and think your own way and do your own thing. No way.
But we as Christians, you went to a Lutheran church. I mean, I pray for God's intervention to the dictators, right?
Right.
I mean, I pray for God's intervention too. I mean, there's a few dictators on earth. Some are very evil. I pray for God's intervention.
Right. I think God has his timetable, and God is the ultimate judge, and God has his own plan. To us, 1 year, 2 years is long time. For God, it's just a blink of eyes, kind of short time. So we need to be patient. And I really, really believe, and God has his plan, because now we see a lot of things. For example, Xi Jinping have Qingling means zero Christian a few years ago. And what happened to the Chinese Christian community was weed out. The seeds sowed in the good soil become stronger. The seeds sowed on the sidewalk, on the sand, on the stone, and they just self-eliminated. And also churches became stronger, broke into smaller churches, because Xi Jinping doesn't understand Christianity, not like Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong understood Christianity, so he banned it because of what we believe. Xi Jinping banned it because he doesn't want people gathered together in a big crowd and not listening to the communist doctrine. So the church just broke into smaller churches, and it's everywhere. And the congregation, the believers are even more stronger and in their faith, and so, which is really good, actually.
Right. Do you think dictators like paramount leader, put it this way, Xi Jinping, he might be safe? I mean, like who knows, right? Like Christianity, God's love. I hope someday like there's freedom of religion in China, right? Right now everything is kind of suppressed, and I know that you sometimes visit China. You are not like an activist saying 打倒 bingo, right? But you do visit, right? From my understanding, right? Yeah,
I still go to China. I've been there 2 times this year. I talk to church groups, and I share how to live free in the unfree circumstances, and from Christian perspective. And I got very good reviews from people there. And I'm hopeful.
Well, that's the power of the American passport. Like if you are like Canadian.
No. I knew plenty of people with American passport. Passport was taken away, and they were put in prison, or
they just locked them up, right?
Okay. Yeah. hold hostage. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
But
so far in Hong Kong, not yet. Even with the national security law, they haven't locked up anyone with an American passport yet. Canadian, yes.
No,
Australia.
It did. I knew some people did.
Okay.
They're still in prison after almost a year now. Yeah. I knew.
Okay.
For different reasons, but they do put people. It doesn't matter your passport. Yeah.
I mean, the high profile cases. What I mean by not locked up is after the enactment of the national security law. American passport holders, they don't get locked up because of NSL. Maybe there are some other reasons. Yes.
Yeah.
But not an NSL from.
I think probably
from the recollection.
Scenario is reject your entry.
That's the best scenario. They reject your entry, right?
Yeah.
At least you're not incarcerated. But
yeah, I know I'm on the blacklist. I checked, and that's okay.
Well, gray list is better. Gray, black, it's high risk. Gray, at least like you don't. They might not do something. Black is very high risk if you still go. Yeah.
Because I know what there is forbidden words, and I just say the same message. I just don't mention the word. I got on the blacklist because my friend posted on my Facebook "Free Hong Kong" in the Chinese character, and 2019 or 20.
2020.
Yeah, I did an interview with Simon with Matt Kibbe. Matt Kibbe thought he was cute, and he I don't know how he got the Chinese character "Free Hong Kong," Hong Kong Jiu, and put on my Facebook without even telling me. And immediately somebody screenshot it and sent to the Chinese government. And my friend, Chinese government, kind of showed me, and then I realized, and I told Matt, I said everything, but I just did not say these 4 words. I said it in the way understood, and you put it there. Now I'm in trouble. And he was so sorry, but then it's too late. So I got blacklist.
Well, I'm sure by appearing on my show and also at the World Hong Kong Forum, your chances of getting denied entry to China won't go higher, because we are, as I said, strong defender of the original one country, two systems. And even we think about organizing the World Hong Kong Forum in Hong Kong when Hong Kong can be free again. I mean, Hong Kong is not free anymore. So we look forward to that day.
Yeah, it will come. It will come. I believe.
Yeah, it will come. It will come. 咁我講翻少少廣東話先啦，阿 Li 嚇，咁多謝你上嚟啦，因為我啲國語真係好唔掂，咁用英文易搞啲，咁就Li Schoolland 咧將會喺1月5號，即係2個幾禮拜之後嘅世界香港論壇咧，會同我哋有啲分享啦，特別係文革啦，同埋即係內地點樣去睇即係去依家點樣去睇個 surveillance 啊。人面識別啊，我都會同你傾下，因為咧真係裏邊其實係失去咗自由嘅。咁我哋作為天主教徒又好，基督教徒又好，上帝嘅門徒啦，總之即係如果想去做一啲嘢去改變中國咧，點咧？即係 I don't have the ambition to change China, but I do have the ambition for a free Hong Kong. Your portfolio is much bigger. You have 1.3 billion people. So, I mean, by God's grace, let's fight for freedom.
Yes. Okay. Oh, Hong Kong Forum, is it 講國語、講廣東話、講英文? Which one?
For the panel that you will be in with Gong Zisam and Seng Sud, probably up to you guys. You can speak in Mandarin, English, or Cantonese. Yeah, doesn't matter.
都識聽啊？
我就唔係好識聽，我又唔係好識講， 我的普通话就是这样子了。好
没关系啦。公子沈可以讲广东话，但是郑雪不可以。
Yeah. So that's always the funny thing. It's when we have the World Hong Kong Forum, we just let the speakers choose whatever language they
That's
want.
beautiful, you know.
Right?
That's
It's a
beautiful.
democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I cannot speak Mandarin. Yeah. Just 即係唔識講咯，講得不好就不要出醜係嘛？Won't make a joke out of myself
沒關係。
好啊，咁啊有啲聽眾話 better than me 啊，即係講緊啲國語啦，係咪啊？講緊嘅 minion。So yeah. Thank you for giving us all the feedbacks. Can you see the feedbacks if you use your iPhone? Can you see? Okay. But when you watch the rerun, you will see the feedbacks of the audience, who left messages. So thank you once again. 咁講多次咧，就係大家可以去網上嗰度登記啦，依家係最後嘅登記啦，免費入場啊，咁就2個半禮拜之後再結。And Lee, I will touch base with you again very soon.
再見。
Thank you.
2個禮拜。
Bye.